Welcome to the video lecture program on renal function test. This is Ramakrishnan, Assistant Professor from Department of Biochemistry, St. Joseph's College, Cuddalore. In today's program, I am going to talk about the various functions of kidneys and the methods to find out the kidney damage by conducting the clearance tests. When we look at the functions, each and every one of us having a pair of kidneys, and it is known to everyone that normal function of your kidney is excreting the metabolic waste product from our system through urine. But how this role will be performed by a kidney? When we look at that, so urine is an ultrafiltrate of blood sample. So kidneys filter the urine sample from blood and reabsorb the essential material from the absorbed one, that is filtered one. Then third part, excreting from the system through urine, that is unwanted substance will be excreted through the urine. This is the major function of kidney. But apart from that, some other important functions also carried by kidneys. Among them, the main role is maintenance of homeostasis. Homeostasis means maintaining a substance into a constant level in our system. For example, our normal blood glucose is 80 to 120 milligrams per deciliter. That is for a normal person. Suppose if the level is not maintained constantly, then the condition is called diabetes mellitus. For a normal person, even though during excessive eating or under fasting, the two different situations are all maintained constantly by the mechanism called homeostasis. Here, kidneys plays vital role in homeostasis of water and electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, like this. So with the help of an antidiuretic hormone called vasopressin, kidney will maintain the homeostasis of electrolytes, water, then acid-base conditions also. And this will be achieved by the basic unit of kidney called nephrons. Before to discuss the method to find the renal functions, we should know the normal constituents of urine, then only it will be easy to understand the function. For a normal person, we should know the volume of urine excreted per day. That is, for 24 hours, a healthy normal person will excrete 2 to 2.5 liters of urine per day. When the level exceeds more than 2.5 liters per day, then the condition is called polyuria. It may be due to the imbalance in the antidiuretic hormone or due to sugar, that is diabetes mellitus. And similarly, if the level of urine is less than 400 ml per day, it may be because of oliguria, that is the condition is result in the diminished perfusion by kidneys and in renal disease also. Then apart from that volume, next we have to know the normal color. Usually normal urine will be pale yellow in color. Yellow, it is also called as amber. When the color is extremely differ from this normal one, for example dark brown, it may be because of the presence of blood in the urine, or pale, that is very less in color, because of pyuria, due to the infection. And the next condition, if the urine is dark yellow, maybe because of jaundice or due to the vitamins tablet administration. Next, pH of the urine, usually slightly acidic and the specific gravity is 1.01 to 1.02, and then osmolality is around 300 to 900 milliosmoles per kg. And odor, normal urine will be a pungent smell in nature. When the urine smells like foul odor, it may be because of bacterial infection. And similarly, a pleasant smell, that is fruity odor, during certain genetic disorders, particularly amino acid metabolic disorder. Before to carry the kidney function test, to whom we have to conduct that test? Doctors will recommend only for certain peoples, not for all. Usually, diabetic condition, that is high blood sugar, called diabetes mellitus, and the second one is hypertension. Then third, hematuria, that is any dark color in the urine because of the presence of blood sample, and painful urination, called dysuria, and frequent urination. These are all the cases has to be considered for kidney function test. What is meant by kidney function test? So kidney function tests are the urine or blood tests that evaluate how well the kidneys are working perfectly. Here, two sample has to be collected from the person. One is blood sample and the second one is urine sample. By finding any one of substance in these two samples and placing in the calculation, we will come to a conclusion that the person's kidney is working properly or not. So in order to carry that function test, we are using the term clearance, since it is carried by the kidneys, so called a renal clearance test. So renal clearance of a substance is defined as the volume of plasma from which the substance is completely cleared by the kidneys per minute. So totally 4 clearance tests we are going to discuss in this part. First one is creatinine clearance, second one is urea clearance, and third one is inulin clearance, and the fourth one is phenol sulfathaline dye clearance test. So first one is creatinine clearance. Creatinine is a metabolic waste product of creatine metabolism, that is energy metabolism. It's a non-protein nitrogenous substances excreted through the urine. So creatinine clearance gives that 24 hours urine sample with the clearance with the help of estimating the glomerular filtration rate. Amount of blood passed through the kidney will be filtered, and the creatinine, that is metabolic waste product, will be excreted through the urine. So in order to find the creatinine clearance, we have to collect the 24 hours urine sample. From that, find out the amount of creatinine present in that one. Second, collect the blood sample from the patient and find out the plasma creatinine. By comparing the two, by placing in the calculation, creatinine clearance is equal to urine creatinine in milligrams per deciliter into total volume of the urine divided by serum or plasma creatinine in milligrams per deciliter in 1440. It will give the clearance value. For the normal range is equal to 125 ml per minute for normal healthy person. Then the second test is urea clearance. Urea is also a non-protein nitrogenous substance. It is the metabolic waste product obtained during nitrogen metabolism. So this compound has to be eliminated from our system, otherwise leads to toxic condition in our body. So this is a normal role played by the kidney that will excrete the urea from our system. So by finding the level of urea in the blood and the urine, we will come to a conclusion that the performance of kidney. So urea, it is an end product of amino acid metabolism. It is freely filtered and reabsorbed, partially reabsorbed by the tubules. Therefore, the normal urea clearance value will be less than the actual glomerular filtration rate. The formula used to find out the urea clearance, Cu, that is urea clearance, is equal to UU, urine urea in milligrams per ml, and volume of the urine, then by Pu, urea in milligrams per ml of plasma. By placing the value in this formula, we will find out the urea clearance of the person. The next test is inulin clearance test. This test is used to find out the kidney function, but here it is an external substance. Inulin is not present in our system. It is a polysaccharide of fructose, which is present in the olea tuba. Commercially available inulin has to be given to a person, that is the patient, with the concentration of 10 grams of inulin dissolved in 100 ml of saline, and then that solution has to be administered through intravenous at the rate of 1 ml per minute for the period of 2 hours. Then the inulin concentration in the urine as well as in the blood will be estimated. After estimating the two things, by placing in the formula, we will find out the normal function of the kidney. The formula is inulin clearance, IN. C is for clearance. Inulin clearance is equal to volume of inulin present in the urine into total volume of urine divided by plasma inulin concentration per ml per minute. It will give the glomerular, that is normal renal function. If the clearance is perfect, the renal part is working properly. The last test what we are going to discuss is phenol sulfathalin test. A dye, commercially available dye, has to be administered to a person, that is patient. This dye is also an external substance. Inulin and PSB dyes are these two are all externally administered to the patient, and the volume of this dye present in the urine sample will be estimated, and similarly the concentration of the dye in the plasma sample will also be calculated. Method carried for this test is patient is given to 600 ml of water initially. Then the dye is dissolved in 6 milligram of dye dissolved in 1 ml of saline is given intravenously, and the urine samples were collected for the duration of 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 120 minutes intervals. After collecting the urine sample, the inulin dye concentration will be measured. From the concentration, we will come to a conclusion that if the 15-minute urine sample contains 25% or more than that tested dye, then the person is normal. For example, 15 minutes, 25% means here the patient is administered with 6 milligrams. So 3 is 50%, that is 1.5 milligram of PSP dye has to be released in 15 minutes. If that dye is released, means 1.5 milligram of dye will be released within 15 minutes, means the person is normal. If it is less than that 25%, then it indicates that the person is having some problem with the kidneys. And if the excretion is still very, very low, that is plasma concentration is still getting the same value of around 6 milligram even after half an hour or 1 hour, means complete renal failure. So the degree of renal function will be evaluated by conducting all these tests. In these tests, we have discussed 4. Among them, 2 things are the internal body metabolic substances, that is the waste produced in our system, that is creatinine, urea. Whereas PSP dye and inulin, these two are all externally administered substances in the system. Usually, doctors will always recommend for urea and that creatinine clearance. These two external substances are rare because when a person is already suffering because of renal failure, means these dyes will be once again accumulated in the system. That will also causes some side effects. Thank you.